Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Forgot10's stream. We are live casting a Trackmania match between Crazy Machine Chicks and two nervous trackers. They are competing in Division 1 of United League Reborn 4. The game is Trackmania United Forever. I am joined by MixD.
Good evening.
So, this is week 2. We have 4 maps to play. The environments are Coast, Bay, Desert and Rally. And I think we are in for a thriller. What about you, Mix?
Yeah, I think so too. We got a scary amount of talent on both teams, and everyone's trained. So, yeah, it should be hot, real hot.
Oh, yes indeed. I am told that the sound is good,
Yay.
so that is a positive sign. Yes, this is an absolute classic, of course, for Division 1, CMC and TnT. They've been meeting and having crazy matches for a while. And I expect this one to be as insane as ever. I cannot predict the result yet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna even try. It is, as you say, it's a historic sort of meetup, or classic meetup. CMC versus TnT. Of course, some of the lineups have changed over the years, on TnT's side in particular.
Oh, yes indeed. But one thing we can be sure of is that the lineups are stacked. And people are trained, and this is going to be a high-profile match. So, it looks like we're going to be starting with Bay. The map is called City Parks by Vautour, a French mapper, a legend. The one who built the best track ever, in my opinion, which is SL3 Van Kampen.
Yeah, good old Van Kampen.
I wouldn't personally call this a particularly brilliant track. It is pretty crashy. Oh, a penis on Passi's car. Nice.
He's an artist. Some kind of artist.
What I can say is that the map is rather hard to learn, especially with this winding tunnel section, where you have to sort of memorize when you have to go right and when you have to go left. There's a lot of full steering lock action, so it should be pretty keyboard friendly.
And a fun little slide at the end there. It's the transition from a lower road to the higher road, or I guess from platform to road. There's a little rise that you go over and you get some airtime. It's just a handy place.
Yes.
Just spin a little bit in the air to get the right angle for the next turn. Or to get the right position for the next turn, I should say.
Well, the main challenge, I think, is going to be not crashing. Because there are quite a few spots that can catch people out.
Yeah, and I see here in warm-up a lot of people are being caught out. Of course, they may be pushing super hard in warm-up just to really try to get warm, and maybe they will ease off a little bit. in the actual match or try to go a little bit safer. But we'll see.
Yes, we will indeed.
In the match, you're trying to adapt to what your opponent is doing, so sometimes you'll want to risk more and sometimes you want to go safer. The warm-up's a little bit different. You're just sort of trying to stretch your legs, work out where your feel is.
It looks like we are going to have BlackCat, Norman and Passi driving against Sander, Roa and Neko. This should be an interesting matchup.
Alright. I'm gonna say CMC are gonna take B.
I don't know, it's a tricky one. I would probably lean towards the CMC, especially knowing that Passi is on a T noob side, if we are perfectly frank. But we're going to find out soon enough. The lights are out, away we go into the first round. A good start. Well, a good start. I think BlackCat has had an issue, and JJ already restarts the round. That didn't last too long.
Intriguing.
And I think we are off real. Everyone negotiates to start safely. Nobody is going for the inside of that toll booth, and I think Roa has already crashed. That's a one-man down. Passi and Sander are fighting it for the lead. Norman has joined them. Neko is in close pursuit. Ooh, he has a slide. Goes way too high on that transition. Loses everything. So unless the TnT drivers are going to crash, this is going to be a TnT round. Sander does want to take the round win because you never know, people behind might crash, but Norman is just not giving up. He fared better on that platform. Sander got some tricks up his sleeve on the dog parts, but even his 58.26 is not enough to get us the round win, because Neko and Roa both crashed and none of the TnT drivers did. So it is a round win for TnT, and we have 4 good times on the board.
Yeah, so CMC a bit crashy in that round. Hopefully they can sort themselves out, settle themselves down a little bit and get into proper racing. Neko, of course, can be a little bit crashy sometimes. Roa, that's a bit more uncharacteristic for him to be crashy. He's in 5th place at the moment. BlackCat has crashed and is 6 seconds adrift. And the tight pack at the front, oof, and Roa crashes, and he's going to lose a lot of time. Just went too risky for that edge. See, that's the kind of thing, that's the kind of position you should just be taking a bit safer, I think. But anyway, TnT out front, proving too strong for CMC right now, at least in this round. Although Sander is fighting back, and he may be able to take a Norman here, but no, not quite. So round for TnT with a 1-2 and with a 58.01 from Passi.
A good effort from Sander, but not enough, because Passi and Norman are very rapid indeed. Neko not too far behind, but he was only 4th. So 2-0 for TnT at the moment. Let's hope that the CMC guys can gather themselves and stop crashing. I think Passi... Ooh, Neko has crashed. I thought Passi was heading for a checkpoint. He managed to avoid it just fine. Sander in the lead, followed by Norman and Roa. And Rover has crashed before the tunnel, so it is once again Sander against the TNTs, and Norman is on the attack. He has got himself into the lead. Now it's Passi's turn. He also wants any extra points he can get. Will he get them? Yes, he will. 358 on the board, Sander only finishing third, and we had 2 crashes for CMC again.
Ay, 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 ay. Don't want to get a reputation for this. Alright. Well, TnT with a 3-0 lead so far. CMC are going to have to regroup and get their focus. So they have a 1-2 at the moment with Roa out in front. And Neko with good backup has made it into third now. But TnT not far behind, and Roa and Norman have made mistakes and they drop back. Norman is struggling in the tunnel, but Roa in fifth is not far behind Passi, so he could pass Passi. But he doesn't need to, with Sander and Neko in 1-2. I mean, Neko could drop to third. It's unlikely at this point. And in fact, Sander and Neko do take the 1-2. Roa comes in creditably, and we have 5 drivers under a minute.
Yes, a first round under a minute for Roa. Finally, he managed to avoid crashing, although I saw him getting out of shape on a platform section before the transition. So it is finally a point on the board for CMC. And we're into round... well, I wanted to say 6, it's round 5 actually. We have Passi leading from BlackCat and I believe Roa. Something must have happened to Sander because he's only 5th. Let's see if he's going to make any sort of a comeback. Passi is still comfortably first, still followed by BlackCat. 2 CMC drivers are hot on his tail, but they just... ooh, BlackCat has crashed. That is not a good news for TnT team, because they now have 2 drivers in 2 last positions, and unless the CMC drivers are going to throw it, it is a CMC round win. It is indeed 58 on the board for everyone on the red side. But Passi wins the round with a 58-25. Incredible performance so far.
Yeah, Passi's very strong so far. He's moved into the lead on driver points with 24 points there, just 1 ahead of Sander on 23. So certainly not living up to his reputation as being crashy. I'm not sure, has he made any mistakes at all in this map so far? Anyway, he is in the lead here, but Sander's chasing him down, and Sander does go past, and Roa gets a slide on that black grid. Seems to be a problem area for him, so he drops back to 5th. Neko is already back in last place. So CMC in the last 2 positions is a loss no matter what Sander does in front. So we are going to have to hope for TnT to make some mistakes, and what they should be doing, of course, is going safe at this point with only a few turns left. Try to avoid crashing. Norman does hit the wall, but doesn't really lose time for it. And TnT have this one with positions 2, 3, 4. 57th. On the board.
These guys are setting fire to the timesheets. A double 57. Sander did manage to overcome Passi by 200th of a second. But that is just not enough when your teammates are crashing. They have to regroup. I think I saw a crash. No, I must be seeing things that aren't happening. So it is Passi once again in the lead. I see he has a trick on that drop because he's going to the left, but he manages to rotate his car. I saw Rowa sliding on that platform once again. He rotates the car just a little bit to get it pointing in the right direction. Neat trick. I didn't see that before. Anyway, out in front we have Norman followed by Passi and Sander, and then BlackCat and Neko fighting for 4th. Will Sander snipe the first position? Yes, he will, but Neko loses out, and even if he hadn't, it wouldn't have made any difference. Because Rowa came in last. Again, round 4 TnT 5-2.
Yeah, and that puts TnT potentially only 2 rounds away from a map win. And Raw with a mistake slides again. This is very uncharacteristic for him to be making this many mistakes. But he is adrift by a second. Of course, that's not doesn't mean he can't get back some positions. But just see if anyone makes some mistakes. So the 5 guys in the lead are pretty tight. Norman is out ahead and Passi chasing him down. TnT in 1-2. Obviously that gives them the win. Sander's going to have to try to do something here, but he can't do it on his own. Even if he gets into first, it would still be a TnT round. Sander does make it into second with an equal time to Passi, with a faster time in the map by 0.02 of a second. He gets the point.
Yes,
6-2.
map point for TnT already, and Norman has driven the fastest time so far in this match with a 57.83. Very quick round. Anyway, potentially last round we have BlackCat with a big crash. So he's probably out of the round. Passi is leading from Neko, Norman, Rowa and Sander, who is in 5th position only. But he will be looking to make up some ground. Ooh, Rowa and Norman really got out of shape in that tunnel, dropped back. I think, ooh, Neko getting a bit too much on the 2-wheel side. Unless Passi is going to crash, or maybe Norman. This map is currently going to TnT. Yes, it will indeed. 7-2.
Ooh, 7-2. I didn't expect it to be quite that one-sided.
Yes, indeed. Well, I would say the CMC drivers did have the pace. They just didn't. They just were lacking consistency.
Yeah, very crashy. But I mean, the times that TnT were putting in were strong as well. So I mean, if even if CMC hadn't been crashy, that would have been a close match. Who knows if it even that would have been enough? TnT might still have won it. But anyway.
Yes. Anyway, incredible performance from Sander and Passi. I don't think either of them crashed even once, and they were showing really strong times. Yes, so now we're moving into map 2, which is Coast. I'm not sure how the track name is supposed to be pronounced. I would call it Panier-Circense, going with the French pronunciation. And it is built by TM Jonas, a legendary mapper from TMX, who did have some league maps in the past as well. I didn't train the track, so I don't really have any insight. What about you?
Who are you following? Roa, probably.
Yes, I was in Roa.
I haven't trained it heavily. So I'll grab a hold of Roa and just see how he runs this. Does this run and try to talk about the map a little bit as he goes through it. So. And Roa misses a gear, I think, at the start there, and then this uphill is crucial for getting the gear. And everyone seems to get it, so not much time lost there. But apart from that, my knowledge runs out. Coast, of course, not being really a strength of mine.
Oh yes, same story here. So apologies to the viewers. We cannot provide a lot of insight into the map or indeed into the environment.
This coast section, yeah, I've seen some people go over the dirt a little bit there. I noticed nobody on this in this match is doing it. It seemed risky to me. Certainly when I tried it, I just slide out, but that's the way it goes. So let me think. Just not kind of expected Ezom to be playing for TnT on coast.
Yeah, I was expecting him to play on Bay because he's one of the sickest drivers there. I think I saw somebody in chat, Andy, mentioning that Ezom didn't have time to train. So that would explain it.
Indeed.
And it looks like we're going to have Luffy, BlackCat and Zippy against Neko, Sander and Roa. I hope that the CMC guys are going to show a better performance here than on the previous map. And let's see what happens. But CMC aren't really a particularly strong coast team.
No, indeed.
Yes, go on.
Well, it's kind of what we traditionally think anyway, although we have certainly put in some good performances a couple of times over the last few years.
Yeah, and also we didn't really have Sander until recently. That is a much needed boost.
Yeah.
Also, while we're on the subject of coast and strong teams, I think Airvan were already incredible because they had Semco and Clem at the very least. And now they are joined by Tona, who is also one of the best coast drivers out there. So I think Airvan are going to be absolutely nuclear on coast.
Yeah, I think with Tona joining them, when we started this league, there was an assessment, I think, on Lolo's stats of where all the teams were, and the 4 teams in Division 1 were all pretty much equal. But with Tona joining Ervan, that's going to boost them quite a lot.
Yeah, that is probably going to tip the scales, well, noticeably into their favor.
I mean, Tona having won the Giant Cup twice on
Yes.
United.
At least once he also won a United League. Definitely Sunrise League at least once. I'm not exactly sure how many times he won each sort of league. Well, Sunrise definitely once, because SL7, which was the penultimate edition of Sunrise League, was back in 2010, and back then Tona would only have been starting playing TM. He definitely wasn't anywhere good enough to be in Division 1.
You've got a good memory for the years.
Yes.
Do you have a trove of archived documents that where you keep all this information?
Unfortunately not, but some leagues do mean something to me. They're connected to something
Alright.
significant in my brain, and I do thus remember some years pretty much off the top of my head, and some I just calculate from the references I have.
Yeah, it's a shame that with the electronic tournament site closing down, that a lot of that historical information is gone, or at least hard to get.
Yes, that's very unfortunate indeed. And the newer ET websites aren't even accessible on Web Archive. But we are already live on Coast Map. We have Neko, Roa and Sander against Luffy, Zippy and BlackCat. We have Roa sliding away on that uphill section. He is fighting for 5th position with BlackCat. BlackCat with a slide that drops him back. Ooh, Roa, big crash into that checkpoint, but we have Neko and Sander in first 2 positions, so unless they botch it up, it should go the way of CMC. They are followed by Zippy and Luffy at a bit of a distance. Zippy is going for an attack. Let's watch whether he's going to succeed. But in this round it looks like the CMC drivers at the top are going to hold their own. Double 59, good times on the board, and it is round 1 for CMC.
Yeah, Neko had a nasty bump at the finish there. That could have been disastrous. I mean, right at the finish, there's as the road rises, you can hit that awkwardly and clip, and that's exactly what happened to Neko. But he made it to the finish anyway. Probably only lost a couple of tenths with that mistake. But here we go, and who has slid out? That would be Zippy. Zippy with a minor mistake, lost a little bit of time, but he's still there. He can get that back. CMC out front with a 1-2-3 this time as Roa goes onto the grass and drops back, and everyone goes past him. Whoosh! See, that's the kind of occasion where you want a whoosh horn. But he's still fighting, and he goes into 4th actually, with some very nice lines there. And he's really battling strongly with Zippy, and it's going to be... Wow, they were just all on top of each other to finish there. But CMC, with Sander and Neko out front, make it safe. Nearly a second ahead of Luffy.
Yes, pretty close times all round, but Sander and Neko going strong with mid 59s. Round 3. I think BlackCat slid a bit too much there, but he's still in the mix. We have Neko leading from Luffy, Sander and Zippy. The others are a bit too far behind to be seen on camera. Neko with a slide drops back. It is up to Sander, who is neck and neck with Zippy and Luffy, but Luffy makes a mistake, drops down to 4th. Zippy with a slide and a crash puts Sander, Roa and Sander, Neko and Roa into the first 3 positions. So unless they are going to throw it away, it should be going the way of CMC. And indeed it does. Another double 59 from Sander and Neko.
Yes, a 1-2-3 for CMC, and puts the score at 3-0. So this is a bit of a turnaround from Bay. Zippy makes a mistake at the start there, and does lose a little bit. So does Luffy, but Zippy has gone past Roa already. Sandra and Neko out front, but BlackCat swooshes past them. And not for long though. I mean, that is Neko with a slide. And look how much he drops back. Just a small amount of time, but it puts him into 5th. So that's how close the racing is here. Zippy, I think he touched the wall there, or maybe he just slid a little bit, but it's enough to lose him a little bit of time. Sander out front, and with CMC with 134, this would be a winning position as we move into the closing section of the map. Just this one tricky turn at the end, and that is another CMC round.
Yes, Sander banging in another 59. Neko didn't quite manage it this time round after a couple of mistakes, and it is 4-0 for CMC at the moment. But the racing is a lot tighter than the scores might suggest. We have BlackCat sliding a bit but getting back right into it. He is currently battling Roa for 5th position, but Sander is out in front, followed by a close pack consisting of Neko, Zippy and Luffy. Zippy with a small slide which he manages to correct, but in the process he loses time. Luffy went onto the grass, dropped positions as well, so we have Sander from Neko from Roa, followed by the TnT drivers. Zippy is trying to make a comeback, but I don't think it will amount to anything. One turn to go. Neko wins a round, and we have 4 drivers in the 59s. But the first 3 of them are CMCs, so 5-0.
So potentially only 2 rounds to go, with Sander with a good lead on the driver points there, 29 against Neko with 24, and they're both well ahead of the 3rd place driver Roa with only 15. So yeah, Sander and Neko have been dominating so far, but this round is going a bit different. Zippy out front and Luffy in 2nd, but Neko's right there. And he does edge his way into 2nd. And they are all closely followed by Sander, and Roa is not even a car length behind Sander. So, lots can change. Zippy makes a mistake there on that dirt, you might say, section, even though it's only the side of the road, and Neko, with a bad mistake, bonks the wall hard, or as hard as you can on a slow coast track. And Sander and Roa in 1 and 2, and that's another CMC point.
Yes, Roa manages to gain position right at the finish by 200th of a second. Sander with yet another 59, and we are already at map point for CMC. So 7th and potentially the last round. Let's see how it's going to go. Maybe TnT drivers are going to start a comeback and go right all the way to the tennis point, but it looks unlikely as both Luffy and Zippy made a mistake and hit a wall at the same place. And I saw Zippy sliding away there, but Luffy is still in the mix, following Roa. But we have Sander, BlackCat and Neko in the lead. BlackCat in 3rd at the moment. He wants to do something about it, because that's the only way to stop his team from losing the map. But it doesn't look like the CMC drivers are going to give up, and it is a triple 59 for CMCs, with BlackCat in third also at 59. And 7-0, absolutely dominant performance from CMC.
Well, that was also unexpectedly one-sided. We should just stop making predictions.
Yes, indeed. I would never have thought that CMC would have gone 7-0 against TnT on Coast. But Sander was absolutely incredible.
He was on fire.
I think he drove 59s in every round. Apart from... well, no. He drove 59s in every round, but he only didn't win once when Neko finished ahead of him. Mental. And we are into map 3. It will be Desert by the looks of it, Continental Crush by RatPL, a CMC player. What would you be able to tell us about this one? Because I am once again not in a position to provide any insight whatsoever because I don't understand the environment and I didn't train the map.
Yeah, well, who are you viewing right now? Garfovsky?
Yes, I was on Garfovsky.
Not. Well. Okay, if you stay on Garfovsky, and I will also spectate them so I know where we're at. Yeah, just before we go into the map, I know Neko has been training this pretty hard. As you can see, he's got Dynamania one time there with the 103.73. Of course, that is rounds Dynamania. I'm not sure what the time attack times are.
One moment, please. Mizu informs me that Sander drove all his times between 0.36 and 0.59.
Yikes.
That is incredible consistency. Thank you, Mizu.
That is amazing. Of course, Sander being an old timer, as it were. Well, kind of. We delved into the archives recently, looking at who was signed up for CMC in UL1, whenever UL1 was, 2006, I would guess.
2007 spring.
Right. And Zooz and JumperJack, who are going to be driving this map, were signed up. Well, Zooz was. Was JumperJack also?
I think we had Sander, Quicksilver and Zooz signed up for CMC 1 back then, while JumperJack and Rubiano were in CMC 2 alongside you and Loser. And, well, you and Loser are signed up for CMC 3 in ULR4, while all the others are in CMC 1. 13.5 years later.
Yeah, scary business. I don't remember a lot about UL1, it was a long time ago. I remember racing against the Rubiano a few times. We were pretty close in skill level at that time, on at least some of the environments.
I didn't even have internet access back then. Incredible.
Good times. Yeah, so where's Garfield? Ah yes, you've got to be careful on this landing. It's easy to slide out at the top there as you go over crests. Like this grid section, to brake hard to get in there. Take this tight. Don't hit the water hole on the left. There's a dip and it will catch you out much more severely than it looks. If you catch that edge, you're gone. And at the finish there, on that sand section, some of those blocks have quite a lot of grip and some of them really don't, and you can't tell by looking at that which ones have grip. You just have to know which ones have grip and which ones don't. So this tunnel entry, I always had to slow down for it. I'm not sure if that's actually required, but there's a lot of wobbling going on here. You turn hard, the car goes onto two wheels. And being on two wheels reduces your acceleration, of course. Lets you turn harder, but less acceleration. So depending on where you are exactly, you might want to choose one strategy over another. But yeah, another good league map from Red here.
Head back to Diffa.
Garfovsky nearly hit the hole on the right there. You don't see that happening often. It's usually the water on the left that catches people out. So I'm expecting this to be a little bit crashy, and I'm in particular expecting places to change all the way up to the end, because this finish, as I say, can be a little bit unpredictable with people trying different strategies off the ramp. I think everyone in this match will be trying sort of a low jump, so they go off the edge of the ramp rather than off the end. So the difficulty with going off the edge is your car will tend to tip over a sort of barrel roll maneuver, which you want to try to prevent, and you can do by turning at exactly the right time as you go off the edge of the ramp. You can prevent that barrel roll movement, but it does make the landing very difficult. And of course, if you try to jump too low, you catch the edge of the cliff, which again is disastrous for your landing and lining up for the next corner. So yeah, I think a lot's going to be changing there. So everyone goes low. And I haven't actually checked the blocks there. I mean, I know that the square of sand that the checkpoint is on is low grip, so you can't turn much on that block.
Okay, it looks like the warm-up has finished, and we are probably going to have Passi, Luffy and Garfovsky driving against Neko, Zooz and JumperJack. Are we going to have another stab at predictions?
Yeah, why not? I mean, we've got Neko, who we know is as like a bat out of hell on this map, or a bat out of the desert. I don't know. And yeah, I say CMC will have this. Neko and Zooz going to be leading up, and JJ giving good backup, I think.
Let's hope so, because yes, I know that Neko is an absolute beast, and even though TnTs are definitely strong, I hope Neko is going to carry. But we are alive and already into the first round. Neko and Zooz are out in front, followed by a rather socially distanced pack of TnT drivers, and JJ tagging along. Passi with a slide loses a lot of time. Luffy is still close. Ooh, Garfovsky clipping right there and losing more time as well, but Luffy is attacking. Ooh, Zooz, what happened there on that landing? Nothing too disastrous. Neko takes the round, and Zooz and JJ back him up. CMC take first blood.
At least the first round went as predicted, or as we, with our CMC bias, hoped. But let's see how round 2 goes. And we have Neko fighting out the front with Luffy. And everyone is close at the moment, although we did see Luffy, I believe, slid out there a little bit, but really didn't lose much. And he's actually catching up again. Everyone brakes hard for that drop. It's faster to drive down it a little bit than just go flying off the edge at speed. And Luffy gets a bad landing on that awkward. You jump at an angle, which makes the landing difficult, and he makes another mistake. So he's out of it on this round. Unless anyone else makes any severe mistakes. JJ goes past Passi, and we have Neko and Zooz out front. They should go safe, and they do take that jump at least cleanly. Everyone at the front has taken it cleanly, and CMC with 134 have got this round also.
Yes, 2 104s on the board, and Neko actually going 104.02. A very quick round. So 2-0 for the CMC side at the moment. We're into round 3. I don't think anyone has crashed at the start, but I saw somebody sliding away. That would probably have been Luffy. Yes, it was. And Passi with a small slide drops some time. So we have Neko, Garfovsky, Zooz and JJ, and Passi and Luffy following them. Neko is going strong, and Garfovsky is trying to overtake Zooz, but without great success so far. Passi does manage to get ahead of JJ. JJ makes a mistake and drops some time. Let's see if Zooz is going to prevail in his battle against Garfovsky. Yes, he does. We have 3 people under 105s and another .15 for Neko. Another round win.
Yeah, it's a very strong start with Neko and Zooz. 3-0 for CMC just now. See if they can keep it up. I think Luffy is using low profile tires on his car, which is didn't help in that last round. Of course, in Trackmania your car model doesn't make any difference to the performance. There's nothing you can tweak, but so I am just joking. So Neko and Zooz out front again. The Terror Twins being more terrific than terrible at the moment, and really providing TnT with some pretty behinds to chase. And JJ pulling up the rear, but he's a second behind. It could all change as Luffy gets a nose down on that jump, but still safe. And Zooz clings on to his second place by only 400ths from Passi.
Yes, Neko with a .1, another strong round on his side. 4-0 for CMC. And Garfovsky says that Neko is beating his personal best. That is some serious business right there. Okay, round 5. We have once again Neko in the lead, followed by once again Zooz and some TnT drivers. Zooz going a bit wide there, drops a few positions behind, but let's see, he's probably going to make a comeback. And he would need to, because he's currently in 5th, followed by JJ. And that is a round win for TnT if things stay like that. He's getting closer to Luffy. I think Passi made a mistake, but Zooz didn't really get the best out of that transition. and he clipped a curb and dropped to last position. So yes, this is quite clearly a TnT round. Neko with an excellent 104.05, but that is not enough. TnT take their first point.
Yeah, Neko winning that round by more than a second. Just an insane performance from him so far. I mean, he's consistently getting times more than half a second, better than anyone else has done in the match. Oh, as we're in round 5. And this time Zooz is out front. Chased down by Garfovsky, Neko, JumperJack. Oh, JumperJack made a mistake. Where is he? So he has dropped back a bit. Everyone with clean landings and clean turns there at the top of the hill as we go into the black grid. And this tricky exit from the black grid that everyone takes cleanly this time. And the hairpin JumperJack just gets a little bit messy there, and everyone good on the finish, and that is a CMC round with Neko and Zooz in 136 is good enough. It is 10-11, so they win by only 1 point.
Yes, Neko another round win, but this time it was 0.8. A bit slow for his standards, but I saw him making a mistake early on. We are into round 7, 5-1 CMCs are in the lead, and you can also clearly say that on that mesh section Neko is probably going flat out and others do lift, because he just streaks past people. Neko is currently in first position, followed by Garfovsky, Zooz and Luffy, and Passi is now joining the battle. But with Zooz and JJ in last 2 positions, this just doesn't look good for the CMC team. I think JJ made another mistake. Luffy also made a mistake and allowed Zooz past him. Neko is dangerously close to opposition, still manages to take the round win, and JJ overtook Luffy, which gives us an 11-10 round win for CMC.
Oof, that was some tight racing on that one. Yeah, so some late changes and a good effort from JumperJack at the end there made all the difference as we go into potentially the last round. As we saw a TnT slipping out there, it must have been Passi is 2 seconds behind. So at the moment this would be a CMC round, but again by only 1 point as JumperJack hits the barrier there, doesn't lose much time, just a side swipe. No awkward landings, so Neko going like a rocket out front. Nearly a second ahead of the TnTs. So can anyone make anything change here? I can't see a TnT. It would require a CMC to have a bad crash, which unlikely, and in fact 145. And that's CMC map 7-1.
Yes indeed, and Neko managed to get a 103 this time round. But for about half of the track he was going up on his own personal best in rounds, which was accidentally top 1. So he was going close to the world record pace there. Just got a bit too slow in the end. But still, that's the only 103 in a high profile Division 1 match.
I have to wonder, was he just in TA mode there, or was that him in rounds mode but just being extraordinarily fast?
I have literally no idea, but that was insane performance. I think the slowest he's got was 104 high, like 0.8. Most of the rounds were 104 low, and he topped it off with a 103. This is mental, and it's absolutely scary. I wouldn't want to go against that.
Yeah. So I mean, that means he basically he never made a serious mistake in the entire map.
Yes, he did make some mistakes, but he still finished first regardless.
Some mistakes, but as I say, not serious mistakes.
Yeah, just a tiny slide here and there. Oof. That is next level performance. Either way, we're into map 4. This is Easygoings by Arubiano in rally environments. We're going to have a monster lineup for TnT side: BlackCat, Garfovsky and Yannovsky. Everyone on the joysticks, and on CMC side I'm not quite sure. We're definitely going to have Sander and Zooz. And then it's either JumperJack or Neko. And that would make all the difference, because if we do have JumperJack driving, we also have 3 joysticks. But if Neko plays, that is 1 gamepad. But despite using gamepad, Neko is still a strong rally driver, so I wouldn't write him off.
I hope that's not Neko's internet.
Yes, probably going to reconfigure his DX tweak just for this map. And what can we say about the map? I can say that it is fast and furious, and it is a lot of fun to drive. It's also tricky, and it has some bug potential.
Has a lot of bug potential.
Well, I was mostly struggling with that drop at the start after the first wooden section.
Yeah.
Other than that, well, I don't know, the tunnel, the jump out of the tunnel seems avoidable to me. And after the tunnel, well, I personally didn't encounter any bugs at all.
Yeah, I've definitely had bugs in all 3 of those places, but yeah, I mean, you say that the exit out of the tunnel is avoidable, and yep, that's true. Whether you actually will avoid it or not is another matter. I mean, if you come off the jump as straight as possible and in the right spot, you should be able to avoid it. But of course, even Division 1 drivers are not robots, so they can always be a little bit out, so there's always the potential there. And with this jump, it can send you over the edge of your landing, so rather than hitting your landing spot, you can land on the wall or even just go over the wall. Now, we're unlikely to see that in a Division 1 match, I would say, but depends how hard people are going to be pushing through that tunnel. If it's a tight race, they might be pushing so hard that they don't quite have the time to straighten up properly. And so there's potential there.
You say Division 1 drivers aren't robots. Sometimes I have my doubts about that.
Yeah.
Like when you look at Neko at Desert. That is inhuman.
Yeah. So, this first turn, you have to release a little bit to make it round without, to make it round cleanly. You don't want to slide.
Well, there's alternative to that. You can tap the brake. It's a bit slower, but I found a lot easier.
Yeah, that's true.
So I personally didn't bother training that lift at the start into turn, well, technically turn 2. But we might see some nasty crashes there. Considering this is D1 and people want every inch of performance they can get.
Yeah, they're very keen, it seems, when I was watching some of the warm-up for this map. They're very keen to just nail that start. They don't even want to lose a tenth of a second there. So I certainly have seen people crashing into the outside wall, just pushing a little bit too hard. Gonna be interesting to see if the same thing happens in the match. Who's going to be TAing, basically?
And let's
Oh.
see what it looks like.
Neko just disconnect. What's going on? Is he having internet issues again?
He said, I forgot I moved 4 FPS. I'm struggling to decipher the meaning of that message. Hi Minwi, the score is CMC 2-1, I believe.
Yep.
We lost 3, I think, for 7 on Bay.
2-7.
2-7. 7-0 on Coast and 7... Was it 1 or 0 on Desert?
I think it was 7-1 on Desert.
Yeah, definitely not 0. 7-1 on Desert. I wasn't really keeping a good account of the scores.
Should write these things down. I think I've even forgotten to take screenshots, or have I? I've forgotten if I've forgotten or not.
I definitely forgot to take any screenshots, so well, I remembered about it, I think at Desert, but by that time it was too late.
Well, we've got the stream, so... And I'm sure...
Yes, and Res has confirmed in the chat that it was indeed 2-7 base, 7-0 coast, and 7-1 desert. Thank you, Res.
It struck me I could leak information into the stream.
What sort of information?
You know what, I can't even remember. There was something earlier on, but I mean, we were seeing things a few seconds ahead of the stream, so I could post the results of a map, say, before it's even seen on the stream. Or that somebody has crashed, or, you know, who knows. But I won't do that. What kind of weirdo would do such a thing? Anyway, I'm too busy driving.
I don't know why you even bother.
I was trying to show JJ the lines. I think he learnt it as he went past me.
Damn, please don't make me laugh. I have an injured rib.
Oh, yeah.
It's painful.
I've done that myself. Cracked a rib in karting. I even remember the turn I did it on. Oops.
Well, for
It was
me...
sliding, of course, and I thought, maybe I should ease off the accelerator here so I don't hit the wall. I thought, nah, stuff it. I'll make it. And I didn't.
Well, for me it was more of a stress injury than a shock one.
Yeah. Oh, the fun times. I used to crack ribs all the time skateboarding. It's, you know...
Yeah.
Anyway, we're live.
We go still painful. Yes, live indeed. We have Zooz, Sander and Neko driving against BlackCat, Yannovsky and Garfovsky. And Zooz going too wide on that dirt section. I think Sander got out of shape too. So he's currently in 5th. We have Yannovsky with his comeback. And BlackCat, the rally legend, leading, but Neko, astonishingly, is able to keep up with them. He's actually overtaken one of them momentarily. He's still neck and neck with the top two. Sander reeling in Garfovsky. Ooh, Neko went too wide. He went onto the grass, lost a lot of speed. Sander does manage to salvage 3rd position, but with a 1-2 TnT, drivers get their first round.
Yeah, with some high 106s. We forgot to make predictions on this map. I don't know if we should. We're sort of cheating since we've kind of got a 1 round heads up. It certainly looks like Yannovsky has trained. And BlackCat, of course, is kind of a legend on rally. So this is going to be hard going for CMC. I think TnT have the edge on this one, I would say, but certainly the CMC guys have got a lot of speed and a lot of fight in them, so we'll just see. Anyway, Sander out front at the moment, but BlackCat is right on him. There's basically nothing in it, and in fact, BlackCat does go past. But that still leaves CMC in a winning position, or it did. Yannovsky and Neko at the back could be what decides it, or looks like that is going to be what decides it. And Yannovsky gets it, and that gives the round to TnT.
Incredibly, they finished with identical times, but the game decides that the round is going to go the way of Yannovsky.
He has a faster time, a 106.84.
Indeed, should have been driving faster in round 1, Neko. 2-0 on the board for TnT. And this time round, we have Sander in 1st, followed by BlackCat, Yannovsky, Zooz and Garfovsky. Neko languishing in arrears. Zooz not too good in that tunnel, but he's still in the mix, but Garfovsky is gaining on him. Sander is out in front, followed by 3 TnT drivers now. Garfovsky not very good in that braking spot. Sander already losing position to BlackCat, and this is definitely a tall order. And indeed, I'm expecting a TnT victory with their lineup. But let's see. Sander is still fighting. He's currently 1st. Zooz was in 3rd position, but he dropped back and he's fighting for it, and he does get 3rd. With Sander winning, that's just about enough to salvage a point for CMC.
Wow, that was some very close fighting and a lot of changes at the end there. It was never quite clear. 5th and 6th were also a tight race. So that could have easily gone either way. So CMC gaining a point have proved that they can do it. But right now, BlackCat and Yannovsky with a useful lead. But Sander picking up time. Oh, and Yannovsky just a little bit slow in the tunnel there. No bugs on the exit. CMC in positions 2, 3, 4. Yannovsky's fighting back. He goes past Neko. But Neko gets it back again, and Garfovsky even has now gone past Yannovsky, but they're both TnT, so that doesn't really matter. Yannovsky makes a mistake. 2 mistakes. He's out of it on this one. So CMC in 2-3-4. Garfovsky is going to have to chase them down. CMC should just go safe, and they would have this round. Let's see if it all changes, and nope, it's all good at the end. BlackCat with a 6:17 time.
Yes, BlackCat with a strong round indeed, but he was followed by 3 CMC drivers, and they tie the score right up at 2-2. Round 5. Neko probably with a bit safer start than the others, but he's catching up. Ooh, some people are going off that dirt section, but nobody lost too much time. Everyone is still well in it. Neko is in the lead, followed by Sander, BlackCat and Yannovsky. Ooh, Neko getting out of shape there, dropping into 4th, dropping into 5th behind Zooz actually. He will need to be careful not to make any more mistakes, especially since Sander is under attack from BlackCat and it can just go either way at the finish. Let's see who is going to prevail. Looks like BlackCat. No! BlackCat crashes at the finish and gives the round win to Sander, and it is 11-10 for CMC.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt for BlackCat. He just needs to. He's gonna have to regroup, refocus. There's only one round. And everyone gets through the start cleanly. No serious mistakes or bugs. Tight pack, 0.17 covering all the drivers at the moment. And Neko gets a wall hit at the start of the tunnel there. That is a potential strategy, but in this case it was an accident. So he and Yannovsky are fighting at the back. And what has happened to Yannovsky actually? Oh, he's had a disastrous. I don't know what happened to him, but he is out of this round. So, BlackCat in the lead, not by much. But even if he holds on to 1st, this is not a TnT round. It's up to Garfovsky to make the difference. He has to get past Zooz. And BlackCat with a mistake gives away 1st and 2nd places again.
Yes, and 2 CMC drivers finish in 106 or 0.33 for Sander, good round. Yannovsky either crashed at that tunnel chicane or he didn't quite make the jump out of the tunnel. That was very unfortunate for him. 4-2 CMC are in the lead. Zooz crashed at the start, but at least that was a brush rather than a facial hit right into the castle. He dropped time but didn't have to respawn. Garfovsky gains the lead. It is oh so close at the top between 4 drivers. 2 of them CMCs. And now BlackCat has joined the party. And it is a 5-man scramble for the lead. Sander at the top at the moment. But even if he does win it, if Neko doesn't gain places, at least one more, it is going to be a TnT round. And Garfovsky is coming back. Oh, not quite, but he will finish 5th. And with positions 2 and 3 for BC and Yan, it is a TnT round 4-3.
Yep. So, TnT pulling a point back. And we're close again. Garfovsky loses a little bit on that first turn. And no bugs. As Neko goes onto the grass, and so does Zooz. Zooz got an awkward landing, lost a bit of time there. And Neko with some useful speed though goes past Garfovsky and Yannovsky. It's a CMC 136 at the moment. So they go fast through the tunnel, and Garfovsky he's got a technique that he uses there on that tunnel exit to avoid the bug. And it has been successful for him so far. And at the moment this is a TnT round. They have positions 1, 4, 5. Zooz makes a slight error on that ramp. We're gonna need Neko to pick up a place. It's probably the most likely thing is Garfovsky goes past Zooz, but Zooz grabs it back just in time, but it's not enough. So another point for TnT. And that's 4-4.
Yes, 11-10 for TnT. They tie up the scores. Currently, Sander and BlackCat are leading the points, the individual points, way ahead of Zooz and Yannovsky. CMC drivers didn't have the best of starts in this round, but Zooz is already back with the rest of the pack. He's only 4th, and he goes way too wide there on the grass. Drops lots of time. Neko with a bad crash that is going to put him out of the round, which leaves only Sander to put pressure on the TnT drivers. I saw Yannovsky crashing at that castle part. Might be good for one position for CMC drivers at best. Garfovsky in the lead from Sander and 2 TnT drivers. Sander with a mistake there, going too wide and sliding. Well, this is just going to be a TnT round win, unless they decide to make it interesting. Garfovsky with a top 7 daddy 106.17. A great time and a round for TnT. They're in the lead 5-4.
Yeah, so TnT have picked up the last 3 rounds. So CMC really need to refocus, I would say, here. And get back to their winning ways as they did at the start of this map. And they do get through the start cleanly. Everybody gets through the start cleanly. Zooz going wide on that bridge. There is a strategy for him. Sometimes it gives a little bit of a dirty landing though, but he's doing well now. He's in 3rd place. Oh, but he hits the wall in the tunnel, and that's him out of this round effectively, leaving Neko and Sander to fight. But BlackCat and Yannovsky have the lead positions, so that is going to be hard. Neko and Sander would need to make it into at least positions 1 and 3. Which is possible as BlackCat makes a mistake there. But Yannovsky is going safe. He's getting 1st. Yannovsky 1st, BlackCat 2nd. A handy TnT round, and that's map point.
Yes, map point 6-4. The CMC drivers really need to get it together if they want to stay in it and go all the way into the tennis mode. BlackCat with a connection at the start, drops back. No bugs so far. Zooz going off of the edge of that block. Garfovsky lagging a bit. What's happened there? We have Sander and Neko in the lead, but yeah, Garfovsky timed out. I don't know. They probably want to restart the round. No, Garfovsky is back. Hello, American Internet. He is still in 4th, however, and ahead of him 3 CMC drivers, so if things stay like that, CMC are getting the round win. We are getting more rally action. Yes, there's a finish. Sander with a 106. 6-5. TnT still ahead.
Yeah, it is still map point though. Tennis mode hasn't quite kicked in yet, so TnT could still win it on this round. And Garfovsky makes a mistake. He hits the support coming off the end of the bridge. So he is about 1.5 seconds behind. I mean, that's not insurmountable. He could make it out of that last place. At the moment, Sander and BlackCat fighting at the front, and they're switching positions every turn. But Sander has got backup at the moment from Zooz and Neko. Yannovsky is only 0.2 seconds behind Neko though, so it could all change as we move into the last third of the map here. Sander is trying to chase BlackCat down. He doesn't really need to. I would say at this point CMC should just safe the last turn on this and just make sure they've got this point, and it is now tennis mode.
Yes, the score is tied at 6-6, so that means we're going to play until there's a 2 points gap between the two teams.
Sneck tells us it's Roland Garros mode.
Okay, round 13, but not the last round. Neko not doing too well, and Sander, for some reason, behind him. Ooh, Garfovsky going over the grass. Astonishingly, doesn't lose too much time, stays right in it. Zooz is leading from Yannovsky, BC and Garf. But CMC drivers would need to make some positions. Yannovsky crashed at the castle part. Neko is up into 3rd after a mistake from Garf, but BlackCat has got himself into the lead, and with Sander last, Zooz would really need to take this round. Let's see. No, there is no way Sander is going to catch up. So unless anybody is going to crash, which people do not do, it is 7-6 for TnT.
And so with the old point system, that would have been a map win. So let's just see, is tennis mode results going to be different from what the result would have been? CMC are going to have to pick it up. They have the chance to fight back. Sander with a little bit of an ugly landing there, but recovers well. He is still in the lead. And everyone is tied together, although TnT have the last 2 spots. Yannovsky gains, and Neko makes a mistake. He hits the wall and then the checkpoint, and he's out of it for this round. So Sander and Zooz are going to have to keep their positions. They have 1-3, and that would be enough with Neko finishing in 6th. Zooz moves into 2nd actually, and they want to not make any mistakes here. Neko is too far back. He should be able to finish, so they would still have a win with 1-3. So I would say with Garfovsky 0.4 behind Zooz, and that's safe. Sander and Zooz 1-2, and that is 7-all.
Yes, 7-7. Sander with a 106.26. CMC 1-2, and We are still waiting for any team to build a 2-point lead. Round 15, something that wouldn't have possibly happened way back in ET times. We have BlackCat, Yannovsky and Zooz out front, followed by Sander, Neko and Garf. Positions are changing. Sander is getting ahead and he's pursuing BlackCat. Yannovsky didn't have the best line there. He brushed against a castle wall, but he didn't drop too much time. Neko is fighting back, but he is struggling to overtake Yannovsky. Now he did just that, so we have CMCs in positions 2, 3 and 4. Sander, ooh, Neko, you don't want to do that there. And he actually threw the round. He crashed at the finish as well. 11-10 for TnT, they take the round and they are in the lead by a single point.
Yep, so again, TnT have the chance to win it here. CMC, again, as this map goes on, keeping the focus is going to be getting harder and harder. Zooz again with that wide line onto the grass, and it works very well for him this time. And at the moment, CMC have positions 1, 4, 5. No bugs at the tunnel exit. Zooz with a small lead, 0.3 at the front there. And nobody has made serious mistakes, so this one is going to go down to the wire on this round. Sander gets past Neko. Nearly hits the wall but makes it. So they need to keep these positions. Yannovsky 0.2 behind Neko, can go safe, and they do. And another point, and we are up to 8-8 now.
Yes, a strong round. The slowest driver finishing at 107.12. 8 for 8. We are still not done. Round 17. Let's see when this is going to end. No bugs at this part. Everyone seems to be going safely through. I think Yannovsky got something a bit wrong. He's 1 second down on Sander in last position. Neko, well, I think it is probably a network issue rather than anything else. So we have BlackCat and Sander fighting for the lead, followed by Zooz and Neko, but Garfovsky is close behind Neko. He's actually ahead at the moment, but we are looking for what is going to happen at the front. BlackCat is prevailing and Neko has dropped into last. Well, Yannovsky seems to have made a mistake. Let's see what's going to happen. Getting a round win. Ooh, not going to happen for Sander, but Neko will finish 5th, and it is 9-8 for CMC.
Hey, Yannovsky landed on the castle wall there. Is not the fast route. Okay, so no serious mistakes at the start there, but Yannovsky and Garfovsky drop back a little bit. Neko gets a bug. He got a landing bug in the last round as well. He does recover well from it, as he did before. BlackCat taking an early lead. CMC chasing him down. Neko went a little bit wide there, brushes both walls. Intimate contact there, but that's okay. Walls can't get COVID. So, this is a super tight pack at the front, and Neko makes his way into that pack. It's all 5 of them. As BlackCat makes a mistake, I think he hit the support on the bridge. And with Sandra and Zooz in first place, this could be it. No mistakes now, chaps. Just save this last turn as Zooz risks it. But nevertheless, CMC take the first 3 positions, and that is a map win.
Yes, they do manage to close it out in style, finishing 1, 2 and 3, and it is 10-8 for CMC. 18 rounds of intense action. This is insane.
And so tennis mode did make the difference. If it was just to 7 points, TnT would have won this map.
Indeed they would. This is absolutely insane. Literally the first time I ever witnessed that. We obviously did see some tennis mode before. That was TnT against TFS on snow in round 1. But that finished, I think, 8 for 6, or maybe it was 10-8 actually. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I don't actually remember that.
Well, this was an absolute thriller, and that's what we were expecting to see.
Indeed. Yeah. A turnaround from some of the previous maps. That's gonna be, I presume since JJ has designed this tennis mode that his stats are well capable. His spreadsheets are designed to take care of it all.
Yes, he did work on that, and Snack informs me that it was indeed 10-8 for TnT against TFS on snow in round 1. So in 2 rounds we have at least 2 10-8 games in Division 1. Incredible. Well, that means that CMC take this encounter 3 for 1. They lost Bay, but won Desert, Rally and Coast. And that's it for tonight. Do you have anything else to add, Mix?
Does that conclude the week 2 matches? I think it does.
I believe so. There was one other game scheduled for tonight. That was TN2 against the No 2 in Division 3.
So we'll get the results for that. Of course, we have the week 3 matches coming up soon. None of them have been scheduled, so keep your eye out on Forgotten's channel. He's scheduling the matches, so you can tell ahead of time just by looking at the YouTube channel when the matches are going to be cast.
Yes, do subscribe and hit the bell notification button. You will be notified of when I'm going to stream next. So there's a good reason to do that. Also, don't forget to click the like buttons, to comment, and stay safe in these weird times of ours.
Indeed.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. That's it from us. Goodbye.
Cheerio.
And we had one new subscriber